what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today I'm back with another video here with 18 games remaining and a depleted roster and a lot of guys hurt and some guys coming back and all that. The Flyers pick up a 2-1 win in Florida with a crazy goal late from Hathaway with 21.3 seconds left. This was a wild one. To kind of start this one off, obviously, with everything yesterday with the trade of Sean Walker going to Colorado. Nick Seeler signs. He's on IR. No Bobby Brink. No Owe Lixel. Konechny's back in. Sam Ersson in net. A lot of different changes. And again, like I said, the Flyers pick up a 2-1 win in Florida. Exactly the same one that they had a couple weeks ago on the 6th. Coming off of the All-Star break, a 2-1 win there. They get one late off the late goal from Hathaway from that line, the Paling, Hathaway, and Cates line. That's been really good recently, and they've been able to kind of string a couple good stretch of games here together, and they get rewarded late. And the Flyers again, they pick up a 2-1 win. So let's kind of break this one down. Lines in this one: Tippett, Lawton, Forrester, Farabee, Frost, Konechny, Cates, Paling, and Hathaway. Delorier with Couturier and Atkinson. That's quite the fourth line there. I'm actually glad because Coots ended up getting moved up and he ended up playing with Konechny and Tippett at times, Konechny and Farabee. Then there was Frost with Konechny and Tippett. It all changed. At one point, the fourth line was Delorier with Lawton and Atkinson. Forrester moved up, and again, like I said, Cates with Paling and Hathaway. That was pretty much the same line for most of the game. Defense: York, Sanheim, Stahl, Zamula, Adard, and Ginning. So Adard makes his season debut. Ginning makes his season debut, and I thought both of them played actually really well. Adard made some really strong plays. He was good positionally. When Adard came into the NHL a couple years ago and he played those first couple of games, made his NHL debut against the Leafs, he was all over the place, like positionally. I remember there was a play that I believe the Leafs scored on. I think it was Tavares, and Nylander made him look completely foolish right at the line. And right, obviously it's his first game and that's Nylander. But my point is he's come a really long way. And for a guy in Ginning who, there's been talk of him maybe leaving at the end of the season if there isn't a fit. Those guys were partnered in Lehigh Valley a little bit this year too. So, they ended up getting some reps tonight and ended up working out in the Flyers' favor because Ginning had that hit late in the period. He made some strong plays. I mean, I don't expect much from those guys. It's simple, chip it out, chip it in, go back, retrieve it, get it up the ice. You know what I mean? It's nothing crazy. And Sam Ersson was very good, and he was very good in the first period. Shots were 12-5 Florida after one. First period, it was kind of back and forth at times, I felt. The Flyers, they had a couple of good looks. Konechny had a breakaway. Panthers then had a dominant shift after that. Farabee got hit with a puck in the face. Everything kind of was all over the place in the first period. Ekman-Larsson, he had a chance wide open. For a Konechny, I think it's going to take some time for him to get back in, acclimated to what it was. But he had some jump for sure. Again, like I said, like the Panthers, it seemed like they really moved the puck. And the one thing that I've liked with the Flyers, and it seems like recently they've been able to do this a lot, is that they haven't necessarily if they get hemmed in the zone, it hasn't really been turning into a goal, I don't feel like. And thankfully they've been able to kind of squeeze that with going back the other way and getting some chances. So, first period, Ersson was very good. He had some really good saves. He had a really nice save on Reinhart and Title for a really nice move by Barkov. Second period, 10 seconds in, 1-0. Ryan Paling scores. Beautiful goal, beautiful rush, quick play. And Paling, I think, has had a really good stretch of play over these last 2 months. He's definitely been very noticeable since the contract extension. And he just has the speed. I mean, Paling with the speed is very dangerous if you can get him, on the right line. And again, like I said, that line has been working. I mean, a goal from Paling, a goal from Hathaway ends up being the game winner late, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Paling, he gets his starter for the Flyers, and a lot of what the Flyers were doing up until this point was kind of one and done. I thought the Flyers did a good job defending in layers, where it was if they had a guy covering whoever the man was with the puck at the point, high slot, wherever, there was coverage, deeper and deeper towards the net. And that's one thing that I think, when you're looking at tape and you're looking at little things that the Flyers have done better this year, it's been that. It's been the defensive play. And, not having Drysdale, Ristolainen, and York ended up getting banged up in the third. They've been all over the place. And having two guys with, season debuts tonight, that's a really good thing, especially with Florida, who's the best team in the NHL currently. Flyers get a power play. Zamula gets tripped by Cousins. They did nothing with it. Unfortunately, Florida would tie it right after that. Forsling scores. How many times are we going to look for the power play to actually do something? Because the power play is going to be the kryptonite of this team. It's going to be the one thing that just drags them down for whatever part of the season they're in. If it's later in the playoffs, if it's late in the season, then they need a goal, whatever. The amount of points left on the standings board from the power play alone is mind-boggling. And just the fact that they, still kind of run the same units and the same things all the time, it's just bad. It's really bad. And then right after that, unfortunately, the Flyers, they waste that opportunity, and then Florida ties it. And it's not really a routine play from Cates. He's a guy that you're still looking for the offense from, and I'm starting to really wonder, how much, how long are the Flyers really going to wait for a guy like Cates? You know what I mean? Because it's I know he's very good defensively, and look, I'm not going to sit here and say that they should trade him or anything like that, but it's what can you really do? Can we move him maybe out of a third line spot? Can we maybe put him with some skilled guys? Is it like a Couturier thing from years ago where it's if you put him with guys like TK, guys like Frost, guys like Tippett, guys like Farabee, maybe he'll get some offensive jump. I don't know. Obviously, it's different because Coots went up and played with Drew and Voracek, and Cates is going with a little different because the Flyers don't have as much high-end talent as some of those other teams did. But is that worth a shot? I don't know. I mean, yes, that line that I was just praising is working, so I don't think they'll change it now. But in a future standpoint, is that something that is maybe on the horizon? I don't know. And I'd like to see it because I think for Cates, again, I don't think he's a guy you want to get rid of. I don't think he's a guy that the Flyers envision not being part of this. I think he's part of the rebuild. I think he's liked by his teammates and all, and he's very good defensively. I mean, he's a really high IQ defensive player. It's just, can we get the offense going? That's my thing, is let's start to kind of get that going, because it's going to get to the point where it's how long are you really going to wait? So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I'm just kind of starting to get to that point where it's can we maybe, open up the conversation and maybe moving him up higher in the lineup or something like that. Panthers get a power play, Stahl with a trip, Barkov with oh my God, what a save by Urson. I mean, Urson, I know I've said some things about Urson before about, against specific teams or whatever, but he proved tonight that he could play against a really good team. And, I've said he struggled in the Stadium Series game. He struggled against Boston. He had that bad goal against the Avs when he came in for Hart. It's little things like that, right? But he proves, and this team proves again and again that they can play with anyone. And the Flyers with, again, two defensemen who make season debuts, and, Konechny coming back from missing 6, and some other guys kind of going a little quiet right now. They get a huge win. And third period, it was chances, both ways. York ended up going down the tunnel. Shot went off his knee. Flyers were buzzing late. They had a couple really good shifts. Couturier, Farabee, Frost, Cates, all Konechny doing really good board work, cycling the puck along the wall. And it was just a simple play. I mean, shot from the point from Stahl, gets it on net instead of rimming it, and shoots a slap shot low pad. Bobrovsky left the rebound right out and tight. And Hathaway slam dunk, 21.3 left. Flyers just ate it up, basically. Tarasenko had that shot late, but it wasn't that crazy of a scoring chance, and Urson swallowed that one up, and Flyers ended up finishing this one out with a 2-1 win in Florida. I mean, again, a really solid win, a much-needed win, because with, the deadline being tomorrow, and we'll be doing the stream, which I'll mention in a minute, that was a much-needed win. I mean, at one point, obviously, would have been nice, but to get 2, that's really important, because with 64 games played for the Flyers, 18 remaining, they're 33-23-8 with 74 points, third in the Metro. The Islanders right now have 3 games in hand. They're 6 points back. Capitals, they beat Pittsburgh tonight 6-0. They have 67 points with 61 games played. Caps are 7 points behind with 3 games in hand. New Jersey, they won as well. I believe they beat St. Louis. And they have 66 points with 63 games played, and Pittsburgh has 64 with 61. So Penguins are starting to really kind of fall back a little bit. Looks like they'll be trading Jake Gensel too, and that could be going to Carolina. So that's interesting. If the Flyers were to play the Canes, then you have to also now face them with all the other guys that they have plus Gensel. That's crazy. So I don't know. We'll see. It should be interesting tomorrow. Maybe that happens tonight. But again, a really strong win for the Flyers in this one. A 2-1 win, a resilient, gutsy, muck and grind type of win. That's what you want to see, and that's what you need, especially in a rebuild year and with everything going on, and trading Walker again yesterday and all that stuff too. That's a good win for this club. So thanks everybody again for all the support as always. Tomorrow, me and Paul Jackson, co-founder of Maher Media, we will be live from 11 to probably about 4-ish, maybe 4:30, for the NHL trade deadline. We do have a couple of guests. Will, Sam from Four Fly Guys are going to be joining us. Bill Meltzer is going to join us at 12:30. Brian McGonigal, RA from Spit and Chicklets and Barstool Sports, he's going to join us. He's going to join, I think, around 1:30. So it should be a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody, again, for all support as always. My name is Chris, and I'll talk to you all again soon.